Okay, here we are again, and back in the piano corner as I said I'd be. So this is the hats of the 20th Century Museum hats and more, and now we're looking at the displays of the 1900 and 1910 decades. We've looked at the catalogs and magazines, some of them that I've collected for my information, but now let's just comfortably go through what I have in here without getting too detailed, because I know that's boring, unless you're into this stuff. Super weird old hat. I tell you, I don't know what to think of it, if it's for a child or what. A lot of hat pin holes up in here, but anyway, when you find something like that, you can't throw it away, but you really don't know what to do with it. Beautiful old photo albums. Have a couple of these. And the only reason I have anything is because I got it very reasonable somewhere. Gosh, did I have fun shopping. So that's the way the photo albums look. There's another beauty down here on an old music stand. Okay, there we go. This might not even have any photos in it. Yeah, this one doesn't. It says $3. Goodness, I don't suppose that's what I paid for it, but you know, it might have been. Anyhow, so gorgeous little chair. This little chair was handmade in 1910, and whoever finally gave up on it had written down that it was made in 1907, or was for someone born in 1907. It's too bad. The family probably wishes they had it now, if there is still a family, but these things get loose and they end up in thrift stores and antique stores. So in the corner here, what do I have? You know what? Let's gaze up at her again and try not to get a glare on her glass. Might be really hard. That picture, now I've got a view from here, so if you ever get over here, you can go back. I'll trade you places. I just feel that she's always, no, go further to the side. Huh, bring it. We're wasting a lot of time. Okay, well, she's up there behind the glare. A gal in mourning. The antique store wanted her gone because they felt she had spirits with her. I'm not superstitious. Okay, on the other side we have some really cute things. Adorable 3-shot of a little boy, some very old. Like the gal in the mourning bonnet, you can tell old glass because of the curve and the imperfections in the glass. There's usually a wrinkle or two that gives it away. And that has that. Can't tell it here though. I know all of these are old. Here's hair weaving. The frame isn't old, but the hair weaving is. Isn't that something? An old, nice old picture, tin frame of a gal who'd love to be a Gibson girl. And here we have a reproduction bird cage with a lot of little figurine birds, some of which are very old. Here we have Goofus glass. Got that for 99 cents. That's the most elaborate piece of Goofus glass I've ever gotten. And Goofus glass was given away at carnivals as prizes. In here I have a nice little, it's not going to come out, but a fan given away as an advertisement for gold rim flower. Nice stuff. Up in the corner. Well, with the married couple, their names are on the back. There again. If there's family left, why do I have the picture? But that's how it works out. Bridal ribbons hanging beside, which was a big thing, and it was a big thing for quite a few decades, too. Then this is an original print, not an original print, but an actual print, not a new reproduction, of Rose O'Neal, who did the Kewpie dolls, and 3 examples of Kewpie dolls. The oldest one in the middle is celluloid and has the little blue wings on her back, and then a bisque one and the more current plastic. Now this is Rose O'Neal, and she introduced her Kewpie dolls in 1909, and man, it took over like wildfire. People just loved them. Here's a picture of a Kewpie doll cake topper that a friend of mine has, a wonderful collection of Kewpie doll things, and all old things. This is a reproduction clock, but boy, does it look like the ones in my Sears catalog. Up there is a raccoon hat, a coonskin cap that has a leather interior. I'm not sure how old it is, but it's not really worth getting down to look at it. But it was something I wanted to show the difference between fur felt and fur hats to kids, and that got their attention when I did my programs. That's my dad's costume derby that he wore to a centennial, so that's just up there for my sake. This is the son of the gal in the morning bonnet across the way. Beautiful ornate frame. Curves. I don't know if you can see the wrinkle in that glass. Otherwise, I'll get a piece of glass to show that.
No, you see, it's, yeah.
Okay, good, good. Then we don't have to go any harder than that. Oh, maybe I'll put my cue ball back, but I'm going to bring out a few more things. Here's a cane, an antique cane that I got for $15, and the guy that was running the counter at the antique store was like, oh my gosh, if he'd have seen that before me, because, and now I don't really remember, but it's something to do with maybe being made in Ireland, and it's on a steel rod, and it's leather wrapped round and round and round and round. And at that time, which was 20 years ago, he said this was worth $100 he would have given for that if he'd have found it. So anyway, I think it's a pretty special cane because of his story. Here is a glass cane, complete glass. The person that sold it to me told me it was for weddings, that they were filled with wine, and you uncorked this little hole in the bottom for the bride and groom. I'm not sure of that, but it is an end-of-the-day walking stick. I believe that more. I found an example of it on eBay. $250. I better not drop this. Anyhow, when a glass blower is done and he has just a little bit left he could do something with, they tended to want to make these canes. So they're available. Probably they're still being made. Who knows? Don't know much about it, but it's not a bridal wine cane, I don't believe. Anything else here that's interesting? Just lots of these. As I said, Audrey Hepburn, when she played in My Fair Lady, and all these gals that had the big hats and the hobble skirts, could barely take steps, they used these parasols that are all tall like this. Wonderful. Sometimes they're bigger than a parasol. Now mine, here's one that's actually a parasol size, is just a little bit smaller when it's opened up. Alright, I'm just going to lay these down. Is there anything else in there? All of these things. Look at this beautiful cane I got at a thrift store for $10 with a golden end on it. They all open up. These are all okay. But you don't need me to prove that to you. Here's another parasol. This is a little lower. Because you wouldn't think not everybody is the same height either. But it opens up to a fluffy, pretty red parasol shape. This one is reproduction, but it went so nicely with this dress here, a lingerie dress, that I just keep it there beside her. This lingerie dress is from the, this period in here, first 2 decades of the 20th century. And I think they're called lingerie dresses because you had to wear a slip under them, definitely, because you could see through them. And I was looking for a hat to go with it, and I kept a picture of it on eBay. It went for $330, so you can see I didn't get that. No way. Don't really need to put it back. But these tea hats were being sold everywhere, and I bought this one at a gas station's boutique corner for $29. So that, and I did stick an old feather in to give it a little more antique oomph. What else have we got here? Oh my goodness, so much. My old lamp has been wired for electricity. We could turn that on. Beautiful pictures of happy bridal days. Can you see those, or are they glaring? Every bride is beautiful. Beautiful examples of huge hats of this period. Isn't that wonderful? And this. Can you imagine having something of that size on your head? This was the era of the Merry Widow Waltz, 1907, if I remember right. And I wished this sheet music would have had a picture of the Merry Widow hat. But I'm just going to reach over here real quick. It would have been like that. I showed you one in the program. They were usually black, lots of plumes and flowers on them and things. But instead I have this artwork on the sheet music I found of the Merry Widow. What do we have under here? We have a picture of Jesus, which I know is that old. It's a very familiar one. Is he on the mount? People know that picture. Over in the corner I have high button shoes. Let's get you back where you go. There we go. Even though they were well worn, they're totally garbage. Nowadays, shoes turn into garbage in no time at all. And I used to have an artificial looking purse. Now I've just stumbled into having two of the type of purses that could have been carried at this time. At least they look like what's in the catalogs. There, this one I wondered and wondered about why it wouldn't open, and then I found out it's got a locking mechanism. She's glad I didn't break it. Okay. And just some music in a nice old frame. Nothing too noteworthy there. Let's get back to the top. And we've got old piano music from 1902 and beyond. Wonderful old things. There's a picture of a millinery store at this time. You can tell from the lingerie type dress. Look at all the busy hats in the cases. And here, look at these two gals. Great big hats. Oh, I've got so many pictures. Can't possibly show you all of them. This was some family people are in these pictures. So the little booths that we've had through the century where you stick in a quarter and go in and get 3 pictures taken, they must have had something very similar to that. This is my husband's grandfather, his sister, and if I looked harder I might be able to point out some other people we knew from our community. But all of these little tiny pictures of all these kids, and they were glued onto a cardboard and in this old frame. I loved the way, see the old frame here? I love the way all the girls have started. The fad was to raise your arms, I don't know, like a glamour girl or something. It certainly wasn't an ad for deodorant, I don't suppose, but it looks so odd to us now, but that was just, ooh, so popular. This is Grandpa had grown up and got married, and this is his sister when she was a little older. I thought this is a beautiful family picture. Have no idea who they are. Gosh, isn't that something? I feel so guilty having those things because some of these people are still alive or their descendants. Here's my stereoscope. Handle comes down and you get 2 views and it kind of melds into one and seems more like 3D. They were the most fun when they were in color. I'm trying to think, maybe it's just this color one isn't there. Oh, there we are, all these people, all these ladies in high button shoes and long skirts up on somewhere in Niagara on the frozen ground. Grandpa is sick, that one. A couple of them were colored ones. Little baby looking in the mirror. But this one I thought was, oh, here's another one here that's a pretty color one. They're kind of expensive, at least they were, but once in a while I'd find a bargain. Here's a story all of its own. Now let's see if I could figure out a way to show it to you. It's of the new maid. So we have her fall forward. And the gentleman of the house. That'll go there, and he kind of flirts with her. Whoops, he's flirting with her a little more. Okay, so when he's leaving, he's got flour on his back. Okay, now the wife wonders what is on his back. You know, the end of the story here is that the maid has to leave. Anyway, the whole series of cards, oh, and they made up in the end, see. Oh, a little indiscretion there. But that whole business there was only $4, and I thought that was quite the deal when you could pay $4 for one card, so I enjoyed getting that. Okay, what do we got? I forget That's called emerald glass. Some people, you may know a lot more about these things than I do. This is a man's shaving mug. Better we should look at the time. Maybe it's getting close. Which I had no clue what that was, but your brush goes down in here and maybe your soap's up here. But isn't that attractive for a man's shaving mug? Okay, and here's a wonderful old boater for men and a kind of a coarse straw. It's not hard and sturdy like they generally are. Here's another one. It's much stiffer and harder. This one's a little more brittle and different, but they're both very old. Okay. Babies in their oval frames with the bumped out glass from about the 1919 and 1920-ish era. And that's our sign that we need to end here pretty soon. Here's some medicine still in the bottle. I got to thinking I should have some actual medicine. And if I remember reading right, this is sort of an antacid. And it came in its box with this paper rolled up telling you about Papkin. And I even got some other information about Papkin. Oh, and honestly, the poor guy that started the company, Walter Wampol's tablets, Papkin. There was something where he ended up dead in the water. Kind of an unsolved mystery or something. You can Google that. And here we have a Vapor crystalline vaporizer. You put the poisonous liquid, of which there's still just a little dab in there, in here, and then you lit the little lantern, and the heat from the lantern put the vapor out into the air. So that's what made everybody with a cold feel better. Another man's shaving mug and an old razor that would have done the trick. I'm trying to get to the end.